You want me to break down why he's tilting or how he's tilting? This is a Dota gamer who is tilting just to get an assessment of the game state. This person in particular is 12-3-6. They are above their last hit deny quotas, and their net worth is above what the average hero of this whatever bracket should be. So they're having a good personal game, but the team is losing. So to give context, this is going to be a feels bad. I know what this feels like, where you're having a really good game and your team is just not performing, and there's not too much you can do even while you're playing your best. They go in.
How did you not swap me or E me? How does he not swap me? How does he not swap me? I'm right there. What is he clicking? What the fuck is he clicking? What the fuck is he clicking? Tell me, what the fuck is he clicking?
So I feel this.
It's the easiest.
I feel this because whenever your team is just about to lose, you basically have to play perfectly to win the fight, to get a comeback going in the game. In this kind of match, he's probably already tilted overall because he's performing very well. 12-3, you're a carry, he's farmed, he's got items, and the supports and the carry need to play basically perfectly to not die to this team that's advancing in their base. So he's upset that the person didn't get the swap, which as the support, it is your job to go in and swap out and save the carry if you can, because the carry's life at this stage of the game is worth more than yours. So we could kind of like look and see what the hero was doing, but this is a general way that people respond to mistakes,
How does he not swap?
which is
me?
they start to grill the person and say, how did you not do this? Why did you not do this? It's basically putting the person who made the mistake in the hot seat, and it doesn't really lead into a very useful conversation. Usually it's just meant to apply pressure and to make the other person feel bad for their mistakes. I've had people do similar things to me whenever, say, I'm Naga Siren and I sing a song and they're not happy with my song on my team. And they say, what the fuck were you doing? Why did you cancel it? Or why did you let it go? They just want to know why it wasn't what they wanted, when it's a pretty complex decision, plus the mechanics of being able to execute all this stuff in game. So first of all, game is hard. People will mess up. And whenever you're going, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? It's okay to just call out the mistake of like, hey, you could have swapped me in there. That's it. You can just say what the move should have been, and you don't need to get on their case and be like, why were you doing this? What were you thinking? Whenever I apologized for having a bad song where the enemy team ended up being able to escape, I said, yeah, sorry, the song wasn't the best. My bad. They said, no, you don't understand. It was so bad, you should never play Naga Siren again. You shouldn't even win this game. Like, they got really, ugh. And that's just them on a rampage. So I would guess that this poor person,
or Emi,
they have a lot of tilt that's built up over the course of the game because they're doing well.
How does he not swap me?
And the team is
I'm
not.
Right there. What is he clicking?
He does have to play perfectly here. And it was 3 people alive versus 5.
What the fuck is he clicking?
There's not too much you can do. The game is basically...
Easiest save of his entire fucking life.
It's not the easiest save of their whole life.
What the fuck is he clicking?
And this is how...
What is he clicking?
This is how a lot of emotional thinking will cause you to speak in absolutes. Of it's the easiest ever, or it's the most ridiculous ever. They talk in extremes whenever people are really tilted. So...
What the fuck is he clicking?
And then... Oh, and then he pauses.
What the fuck is he clicking? What is he clicking? He can double save me. You have 2 saves there. I have 2 saves.
Another thing too is whenever people are really upset, they tend to repeat the same phrase over and over again, which doesn't usually help other people, but it can help you to vent, I guess. The thing is, I can understand you're at a high level game, you want people to make the correct moves, but you're basically looking at the very end of a match where your team is fighting on a razor thin edge of being able to make a comeback. And yes, it's true that the person missed the swap on this, but there's not really too much you can do. So getting upset doesn't really change anything. Chat is saying they've watched this person many times before. He's tilting every game. He bullied teammates until they started to grief or left the game. Yeah, this is the type of rager that I would call the elitist jerk. The person who doesn't accept the failure of their teammates, which is a very precarious stance to take because your teammates will make mistakes every game. It's really an unpleasant kind of place to be, which is not being able to forgive people for their mistakes and not being able to focus on how do you handle the situation now. The way that I think about it is the situation in any given moment, like if we look at the game state as the enemies are pushing in before he died, moments before disaster, just looking at this situation, he is actually in an extremely unwise spot on the map. So if he could take personal accountability here, it would be, hey, we still have this racks up here. We have these racks, and there's a glyph. I don't need to go in right now. So there's the option of patience. You've got 2 allies that are alive in 24 seconds for this guy and 13 seconds for this guy. So you could sack 1 racks and then go try to defend top after that. And he's completely disregarding that he could have made a different strategic choice. The Venge isn't even in range of them. Where is the Venge? Okay, they swapped someone out. And I think that they were directly on top of his character. Yeah, they swapped out the Dragon Knight. That is not the easiest swap of their life. Holy crap. Now that I look at that, the Dragon Knight is standing directly on top of the Weaver, and it was an accident. Could I even click that? Weaver is a tiny bug, and Dragon Knight is a very large man. Wow, I feel for the Venge here. The Venge actually had a pretty tough job here. Easiest swap of their life? Absolutely not. That is a completely false statement. Completely false. That's one of the hardest swaps of their life. And a swap that they honestly didn't have to make if their carry didn't blunder in. Wow.
How did you not swap me?
I'll tell you how. The Dragon Knight was sitting directly on top of you, and he is way larger than you.
Or me?
Yeah. That makes sense.
How does he not swap me? How does he not swap me?
I see how.
There. What is he clicking?
He tried. That person absolutely tried. Wow. Thanks, chat, for sharing that. I think that's a pretty common situation that happens in Dota, where there's no patience involved and there's no question of, was there something I could have done better there? You tunnel vision on one person's perceived mistake and you just scapegoat as hard as you can because you know you played really well this game and you're going to hold on to that with all of your might. I played so well and you messed up and you took the victory from me. That's the anger that people are bringing to the table. Wow. You can portrait click the top icons. You can. That does make it more advanced though, so I stand by the point that that's not the easiest swap of their life and it's still a hard swap. I would think most people don't actively use the Venge swap from the portraits. That's really cool in chat, and I didn't know that you can swap from the portraits at the top. But yeah, it was a tough situation, and their team was very behind. And that's another common mistake that people make is they'll focus on the last big mistake of the match, but they'll forget about the early and mid-game mistakes that put the enemy team in a better situation. So try to get the big picture involved, try to be patient with your allies, and also remember that you made mistakes too, even when you have a good game. And that's really the take-home leading into the next match. Wow.